What's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Lark here. Today we're going to be talking about Sibirski Chervonets, Sibcoin, if you will. We'll be getting into all of the features and what it does after a quick shout out to everyone who is hitting that like button and subscribing down below to the channel, guys. Really appreciate everyone's support. And of course, that goes out to all the old subscribers who've been with the channel for a long time, and big welcome to all the new subscribers as well. If you do want to continue to support the channel, you can always support me over on Patreon, or of course, follow me along on Steemit as well. Those both really help the channel out a lot, guys. And of course, quick disclaimer, this is not professional financial advice, guys. This is just one dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Let's have a look. So, Sibcoin, the coin of Siberia, or more appropriately, the coin of Russia, what they want to do. Now, Sibcoin has been around for quite a while. It's not a new kid on the block, so to speak. And actually, it was a fork off of Dash a long time ago, back in 2015. Now, what is Sibcoin doing? It's private. It's using DarkSend. We'll talk a little bit more about DarkSend in a moment. It's fast. Great. Using InstantX. It's secure. It has low fees. Of course. Are you surprised? I'm surprised. It's decentralized. It's decentralized! Okay, that's no surprise there, of course. And of course, it is global because obviously the internet is global. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Now, let's talk a little bit about DarkSend because it's probably the most interesting feature of it. So what does DarkSend do? DarkSend is a mixer. So it mixes the coins so that you can't see where the origin was. So you don't know the IP address that it came from. You don't know the wallet address that it came from. And of course, it's all done in a decentralized and trustless fashion, which of course makes Sibcoin a privacy coin. Oh my god, more privacy coins! What's going on? What's going on? Anyway, so that's great. That is probably one of the biggest redeeming factors of Sibcoin. So that's pretty cool. Now, one thing that Sibcoin has been doing actually, which I also thought was a really interesting feature, and this is, I think because Sibcoin is so Russia focused, it kind of doesn't get the press that it should, but it's a pretty useful coin, actually. What you can do with Sibcoin, so if I go and buy some Sibcoin, and there's a lot of ways to buy it, but if I go and buy some Sibcoin, and I want to send money to my aunt in Ukraine. Now, currently, that is a near impossibility using traditional methods. Everything like Kiwi Money, Yandex Money, all these different payment remittance services have been shut down between Russia and Ukraine. Bank services have been shut down. You can't do a bank transfer between the two countries anymore. I know that's pretty crazy, right? But that's as a result of the conflict that's going on. But that doesn't erase all of the ties. There are millions of Ukrainians who live in Russia. And of course, they all have families back in Ukraine. And they want to send money to their mom. They want to send money to their aunt, to their sister, to all these people. And now it's incredibly difficult. And of course, those political lines have drawn deep divisions. But now, with Sibcoin, if I simply have my sister's mobile phone number, I can send her Sibcoin. So I get online, I buy some Sibcoin, and I send it to her using her mobile number. That is really cool. That is really cool, and I think it's a pretty powerful feature of Sibcoin. So I do like that. That is one thing that really makes Sibcoin quite nice. So I like it. I like it a lot. That's pretty cool, and of course helps, solve some of those problems that are caused by politics. And that disrupts the traditional banking bullshit that we have to deal with all the time. International bank transfers are a mess. And you look at what happens, I mean, goodness gracious, what happened between Ukraine and Russia is an absolute nightmare. All these families cut in half, politically, and all this stuff that happened in regards to that. I think men aren't even allowed, Russian men are still not allowed to travel to Ukraine, unless that law has been updated. So, to be able to send money like this is a real world solution that really makes it easy for normal humans. By the way, did I mention that you receive the money in local fiat currency? So you don't receive Sibcoin, by the way. You actually receive Ukrainian hryvnia in that situation. Or of course, if somebody in Ukraine wants to send money to their uncle in Russia, well, they can do that too. And it will be received in Russian rubles. Sibcoin, of course, simply acting as the intermediary here. And I think that is, again, such a great feature of Sibcoin. It doesn't get nearly enough light. So that's really cool. Now, Sibcoin expands its reach to China's cryptocurrency market after tasting national success. So obviously Sibcoin has been popular. Why all these pictures have bears? Bears. I don't know. Anyway, they do. Now, obviously, considering what's just happened in China, that was a problematic strategy. Nobody could have predicted that. Probably some of the reasons why we've seen some of the hits on the price in Sibcoin recently. Of course, if Sibcoin can continue its expansion and, go into Central Asia and get people using it there, that would be a really big bonus for Sibcoin moving forward. So we'll see if they can, recover from what happened in China. Is Sibcoin the new Dash? Someone asked. And this is an article from back in July. And I can't say that Sibcoin is the new Dash necessarily, but remember, it is a Dash fork. And it does have Dart Send and all these different features. And people in Russia, at least, are using it. Now, the one thing that I find interesting here is that Sibcoin is ASIC resistant. They use something called the Strybog algorithm. So basically, you can only mine this using your GPU, which again makes it more accessible to regular human beings who don't want to, go out and invest a lot in ASICs. Of course, GPUs aren't cheap either, but maybe you've already got a gaming computer set up. You can just do a bit of mining when you're not gaming. Great, earn money just on the side. That's fantastic. That's the mining dream, I think. So that's really cool. I like that. They've got a new web wallet service. It's useful, adds value to the whole thing. Here's some information on mining. If you are interested in getting into mining Sibcoin, you can come over here and check out all the relevant stuff that you do need to do that. Of course, again, you can mine it with your CPU if you want. And maybe I'll even play around with that later. Okay, the GitHub's pretty active, actually. 368 contributors. So, wow, pretty active. Of course, I imagine there are a lot of programmers who are big Sibcoin enthusiasts in Russia, so I'm happy to see that. This, of course, is the English subreddit, but there's still a bit going on over here anyway. Of course, a lot more of that was going on back 2 months ago when the price really spiked and everyone got interested in Sibcoin. Now that the price has gone back down a little bit, people aren't as interested in the West in it anymore, but the Russian page is still pretty active. This company here, Earth Virtual Private Network, has started accepting Sibcoin as payment. That's nice. The Kiwi company, with a Q, Kiwi with a Q, you can now buy Sibcoin at Kiwi terminals. Now in Russia, they've got these terminals just everywhere where you can go and buy phone credit, you can pay your electric bill, all this kind of stuff. And you buy different services, all kinds of different stuff. You'd be surprised the amount of different stuff you can buy on these things. And actually now you can go and buy digital currency on these ATMs anywhere that the Kiwi terminals are. So that's really cool too. Again, great feature, great feature. They've got a peer-to-peer exchange coming up. So there's not a lot of details on that here. So we'll be looking forward to see some more details of that. That's coming out on the 27th of October. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that. We'll be interested to see what the developments are with that. Of course, you can follow them on VKontakte if you want. Of course, I still have my VKontakte page from back in the Russia days. But follow them on Twitter. Probably the most relevant place to get updates on them. Boom, I'm following them. They got a lot of followers. They're pretty active over here. Of course, this is their Russian page. You can always use Google Translate for it if you want. Their English page doesn't really have a lot going on. So if you do want to be following the developments with Sibcoin, follow their Russian page and simply translate it. If you don't speak Russian, of course, that is. Okay, one other thing. Now, I did mention this yesterday in my video on Biocoin, but Biocoin is actually accepting Sib as well. So you can, just pay for your Biocoin with your Sib. It's pretty good. One Sib equals probably about 55 Bio at the current exchange rate, so pretty decent there. Now let's have a look at the numbers. Sibcoin currently at 28,000 Satoshi. Of course, it's seen a lot of ups and downs over the past few weeks. Now, Sibcoin didn't really do a lot for a long time, had a big spike back in 2016, and then sat in relative you know, just doing nothingness. But actually at the end of last year, we've seen a lot of uptick in interest in Sibcoin, and obviously, you know, when the markets absolutely popped back a few months ago, Sibcoin kind of followed along with the party. Most of that growth, however, happening in July, which was a little bit after the big party had happened. Sibcoin kind of showed up late, like, hey, are we still exploding? I'm gonna explode too, and then do like every other coin did and, you know, sink back massively. So if we look at some a bit of more of a close-up here, we've seen relative stability in Sibcoin. We've seen a few little spikes, but in general, it's remaining fairly consistent across the board, which is, you know, I know for anyone looking for that breakout, I'm going to make $1 million off this coin thing, isn't necessarily awesome, but nevertheless, it's fairly stable at the moment. So most of course, the trading is happening on Bittrex, like most things, of course. Also a large amount happening on Livecoin, an exchange I'm not particularly familiar with, but nevertheless, a lot of that is happening on Livecoin as well. This I thought was quite interesting here, historical data for Sibcoin. Now we've seen currently the volume is at $104,000, which is abysmally low. That is, you know, something that says to me like, why? Why is it so low? But look, that is just on today. Even as much as a few days ago, we had what, $700,000 volume, which I know is not massive by any means, but we have had a few $1 million days. I wonder if this was I mean, there's two possible scenarios here. One, this was the Chinese trying to get out of Sibcoin and get their yuan back. Possible. Of course, this also corresponds with their announcement about the peer-to-peer exchange coming up. So that could be a big reason for the big pump here in Sibcoin on those days. So, but usually you see the volume is very, very low with Sibcoin, usually around the few $100,000 mark. So that is a bit worrying as an investment. Obviously, so much of the future of Sibcoin depends on really Russia, because this is sort of a national digital currency, if we can even really have such a thing. But nevertheless, a lot of the enthusiasm and the use for it comes out of Russia. Of course, if they can spread to other former Soviet Union countries, that would of course add massive value to Sibcoin. And obviously, one of the risks here is if the Kremlin decides that they want to go anti-cryptocurrency, they're moving very positively in the direction of cryptocurrencies right now. That's something you gotta keep in mind. They're largely moving towards the we love cryptocurrency side, but there are still factions within the Kremlin that go, we don't love cryptocurrencies, we want to ban, regulate, control, all that jazz. But I think that's the minority voice right now. I think the top echelons of the Kremlin really want to see cryptocurrencies move forward. Sibcoin's all good, Biocoin's all good. They've gone through the regulators, and so be interesting to see what happens with Sibcoin. I mean, I'm not going to invest in Sibcoin. I might set up my old laptop and try and mine a few Sibcoin, see how that goes if I can. But other than that, not a bad project. Not a bad project. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, it's you know, one of his biggest sufferings is that it's not international enough, but we'll see what happens with Sibcoin in the future. Anyway, guys, hit me up down in the comment section below. What do you think about Sibcoin? Are you excited about it? Do you think it has a bright and shiny future ahead of it? Is it now? Should we buy now? Get into Sibcoin now before it explodes? Maybe it will explode. Maybe it will, but I think they need to get some more projects coming out before we see any kind of a real big explosion on Sibcoin. Anyway, you guys will let me know about it in the comment section down below. Guys, long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.